don't even think that Chicago pizza and New York pizza should be in the same sentence. I think Chicago pizza is more of a lasagna than a pizza.
It is. If you have to use a fork to eat it.
Stop trying to punt on the questions. Which one is better? Is it Chicago or New York? Pick a side.
He doesn't even think Chicago pizza should be in the convo because New York is so superior.
All right, then great. That's your position. Chicago pizza is inferior to New York pizza.
No, you can't say that in my ear and then not say it on the air. So go ahead.
I just said, Canty, your wife must be sleeping.
Yeah, she is. She's asleep.
Where's your wife from?
My wife is from the south side of Chicago. Yeah.
Is there anyone that would think otherwise? Are there people that would think Chicago? I feel like even people in Chicago would take.
Chicago pizza's way better. That is not true.
People from Chicago ride and die with the deep dish pizza.
They ride for Lou Malnati's and Giordano's.
Oh yeah. That's like sacrilege to talk bad about the pizza there.
But
they would put it over Italian pizza. The birthplace of pizza, Italy. Chicagoans would rank Chicago deep dish above Roman pizza or Napoli. All of that.
So. I guess the way I look at it, and obviously Chicagoans and Midwest, it's really Chicago because Detroit-style pizza to me is more like New York-style pizza.
St. Louis-style pizza's...
What's St. Louis-style?
It is paper-thin, like cracker-thin crust. The sauce is a little sweet, and then they have a specific type of cheese called Provel that they use on the top, but it's in the square.
And that's from St. Louis or Illinois?
It sounds outstanding.
It's very good. It's an acquired taste.
Okay.
Some people love it. Some people hate it. There's no middle ground when it comes to St. Louis style pizza.
I would take that over Chicago pizza. I would take Detroit style over Chicago. Chicago style is at best fourth. Well, unless you consider it. Well, hold on. Is the Italian style, like the margarita style, different than regular, like what we would get a slice?
Yes.
Okay, so then I don't even know that Chicago style pizza is in my top 5. Because I don't consider it a pizza.
And I don't even think that's a hot take.
How is it disrespectful? I'm from New York.
Not in the top 5? Ooh, I can't say that.
Don't tell the new Pope that.
Yeah.
We're trying to be a blessed show, okay?
Yeah, that man got God on his side. Disrespect to Chicago pizza.
He does have God on his side. He's a direct line to the big man.
No doubt.
Have the odds changed for the Nova Knicks? New Pope Leo, Villanova guy. Have the odds changed for the Chicago Bears? Are we talking an assist from the Pope? I don't know. I got a lot of texts from my friends from Chicago being like, watch out for the Bears. The Pope's on our side.
So as a Knicks fan...
They're going to need him.
Well, I was going to say, as a Knicks fan, should I now feel like the Knicks actually are going to win the series?
Yes. No, and here's why. Let me tell you. When Illinois played Loyola Chicago in the tournament a couple years back, Sister Jean did the pregame speech. Mm-hmm. And it was not a speech. It was a prayer. And she prayed to the big man upstairs, and she outlined exactly what Loyola had to do to beat the higher-seeded Illinois. I believe we were 1 seed at the time.
Yep.
And everything she prayed for, that's exactly how the game unfolded. I thought it was tampering. I thought it was impermissible benefits.
So you're still holding a grudge?
I thought it was
you don't like people above a certain age.
I thought it was very unfair for Sister Jean to call in a personal favor like that from her boss. And I imagine that Pope Leo, who is a sports fan, may do something similar for the Bears and for his hometown Chicago.
Just so we're clear, God willing, we all grow old together on this show. What's the age where you're no longer going to acknowledge our existence? Because you've done it with many people. You don't like people above a certain age.
That is not true.
Cece, is that true?
You're an ageist.
That is not true.
A reverse ageist.
You're an ageist.
There was 2 incidents.
That's 2 more than we have combined.
And both happened to come out of Chicago. Sister Jean asking the big man for some help. Didn't like it because my team was on the losing end. Mm-hmm. Had nothing to do with their age. It had everything to do with their actions.
Okay.
Number 2, rest in peace, Virginia McCaskey. Mm-hmm. All I said was, if you are going to be the owner of the Bears, then we need to hold ownership accountable. We always talk about David Tepper. We talk about Jerry Jones. We talk about the Johnson family or the Mara family. Why did we never hold the McCaskeys accountable for a franchise that has been in turmoil and been dysfunctional for decades?
You still have not answered the question.
It's because an elderly woman was at the helm.
Smalls, I just want to know, at what point do we stop blaming Virginia McCaskey for the ineptitude of the Chicago Bears? Like, if they're bad this year, do we still blame Virginia McCaskey?
Well, how old is George?
Yeah, she held on too long. Yeah. The team can't get right.
Come on, Smalls.
She's still hovering over the franchise.
Her spirit, her essence.
I'm just asking, how long are we going to continue to blame Virginia McCaskey for the Bears?
Well, I don't think we can now, Steve, but
okay.
I think Bears fans woke up this morning and they're feeling a little confident because the Pope is on
More
their side.
confident because of the Pope, or more confident because the Virginia McCaskey is not running the team?
I think
or not
the Pope.
around?
I think the Pope, because if you're a Bears fan, you think you may need divine intervention in order for your franchise to find the light.
That. You absolutely need that. Maybe he can help you get your quarterback developed.
That's right. Maybe Caleb Williams can get an audience with the Pope.
Ooh.
And the Pope could do like a special one-on-one blessing for the quarterback of Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, since the Pope is passing out blessings for sports teams, he needs to do one for the Golden State Warriors.
That's right.
Wow, is that telling us to transition now?
They need that.
They really do.
They on their last rites right now.
I'll tell you what.
They on their last rites.
Anthony Edwards, that ankle is blessed because, man.
You know what, Smalls? You know what? I'm glad you brought that up because Anthony Edwards looked like he got shot by somebody on the grass. You know the way that man went down. I mean, he was hobbling off the court like they needed assistance, and then he came back bouncing around in the second half, catching alley-oop. Wait a minute, dog. It can't be both ways. You can't have an injury that makes it look like you're going to be out the rest of the game, and then you catch alley-oops and dunking on fools. It can't be both ways, man. A little dramatic from Ant-Man.
He was better when he came back.
That's what I'm saying.
He scored 13 of his 20 points, 4 for 6 shooting after halftime, and grabbed 5 of his 9 rebounds. He was unbelievable after he came back from
Trace Jackson
injury.
Davis fixed the jumper by stepping on his ankle.
So what are we saying happened? Ant-Man had to go to the bathroom? What are we saying?
I don't know what happened. But
He's like, oh, God, I got to pee. I got to get out of here.
Think about it when LeBron James rolled up on it. It looked bad in real time. I was like, man, I don't know if Anthony Edwards is going to play the rest of the playoff. Comes back in the game.
Right.
This injury happens, I think it was the second quarter. Ant-Man comes back in the third quarter.
Well, especially because, as you mentioned, that ankle was compromised after Game 4, so a lot of people thought, "Oh boy, here we go. This is going to be a problem." But no, he came back and he was better than ever, ready to go.
Come on, Ant-Man. Like you putting a little bit on, a little too much sauce on this one.
That's your favorite player. So
he is my favorite player.
Make the proclamation and declaration. What actually happened? Did he have an ankle injury? Did he use the ankle injury to go pee? What happened with Anthony Edwards last night?
I think he was more scared than hurt.
It's like, wow, this feels weird. I got to get this checked out immediately.
Oh, that's interesting.
And it feels like that with Ant-Man with those injuries. Now, listen, man, when LeBron James at 265 pounds barrels into your leg, you're scared. When you're landing after trying to drive for a layup and somebody lands on the ankle that you're planting on coming down, you're scared. And it felt like Ant-Man in real time was more. It felt like it was something seriously wrong. But then seeing him come back and bouncing around like that,
fine.
And looking like he was seemingly fine, like it felt like he was more scared than hurt when it came to that incident yesterday.
No question. There's a whole Draymond conversation that we're going to have here because he made some headlines after the game last night, to say the least. But the Warriors, obviously not the same team without Steph Curry. Not exactly breaking news there. Minnesota was great last night. Warriors were led by Jonathan Kuminga with 18. Jimmy Butler had 17. That's something to keep an eye on. Playoff Jimmy. Jimmy Butler, in my mind, is a Hall of Fame player. Jimmy Butler on the court when he's invested in playing is actually one of the most unselfish players around and tries to get everybody involved.